So my dad grew up here, and my grandfather and the family moved here in the late 60s, early 70s, and my grandfather worked at the Black & Decker plant. After high school, my freshman year, I went to Belmont Abbey College outside of Charlotte. I played lacrosse there, and then I had to pick a major, and they didn't offer what I wanted to study, so I chose to go to Salisbury, where I studied international relations. Since college, I went to Argentina, and I taught English as a foreign language there. So I was off and on about 5 or 6 years down there, and then I made my way back to Easton. And now I'm at BDK, which is an IT firm here in Easton. And our main focus is cloud services. We do data management, cybersecurity, virtualization, things of that nature. Well, I've always believed it's good to help people, and that just, I guess, comes from how I was raised. But we would do things or events to help, and they were nice. You know, they were, and they are. But after the experience I had last year with having to go to Poland to help Ukrainian refugees, that really opened my eyes to what helping people actually is. I met my wife, Irina, here. We were together for a few years and then got married, and a few months after our wedding, the war in Ukraine began. And our family is directly impacted by that. My mother-in-law is a cancer patient. She had cervical cancer, and she had surgery 2 days before the war started. When it did begin, the doctor came to her room and said, "You don't have to leave, but if you can walk, then you should go, because we're leaving." All the while, my sister-in-law, Alla, was fleeing Avalon, which we met them at the refugee camp on the border, and then were able to get them to safety. Was that out of all of this, we now have a daughter, and she was born on New Year's Day. Her name is Maria Faye. I want Easton to continue to be a place where I want to raise my child. Yes. My main focus is affordable housing. I think that is something that we need more of here, and that sort of stemmed from my experiences returning with refugees. I had a house full of refugees for an extended period of time, and my house is not big enough for that many people. And so we were able to find another place for them to stay. And but it was not the easiest experience to find anywhere because of just how interesting the real estate market was during COVID. Everything skyrocketed in prices, and when we were looking, there were 2 houses available under $300,000, and one was just $299,999. So there's really one house under $300,000, and it wasn't probably worth half what it was listed for, and I didn't want to have to put that much into a place. But we ended up finding something, and it ended up being cheaper than renting, which somehow worked out, or is working out. So, yeah. But I, in that, realized that there probably are a lot more people than just myself who are struggling to find places to live where they work. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important to me.
I guess the question is, what can a city do? What can a person sitting on the council do to actually attack that problem?
Well, I believe that there are partnerships that can be had with developers, with other governmental organizations that will provide, whether it's a subsidy or an incentive or a tax break or something of that nature, to be able to make it possible to do something like this. You know, I understand that not everyone's going to want to even be a homeowner, but there needs to be more options available to people to live. So I think that is something that we should be taking very, very seriously as a town. So I want to make sure that I'm involved in that process to make sure that the people who are sometimes forgotten with things like this. I would say that we want responsible growth, not just to grow for the sake of growing. You know, that's sort of how cancer works. I think having the comprehensive plan as a guide is a good place to start. You know, they year over year think Easton should grow really no more than 1% year over year. That way it's able to be managed and done properly, as opposed to just the opposite. I think public safety is paramount. I don't want my family or my daughter to not feel safe to walk around Easton after dark, which is, you know, now it is not a thing. You know, it's relatively safe here, you know. So I think regarding public safety, we need to continue doing more of the same. I do know that I believe there are 6 openings currently for police officers that we're looking to fill and that we need to fill because of overtime being put on to current officers. And we need to, as a town, make sure that we are attracting new talent that can be of good service to us. And I'm sure that we would be able to find somewhere in the budget where we could make that happen, whether it's, and I forget the term, but or the name of it rather, but essentially, you know, how well are we going to be taking care of our officers and our public, like EMS, in their retirement and things of that nature. So I think that we should be focusing on that and prioritizing that to make sure that this remains a safe place that you could walk around at any time you want and not. One thing I would say is that I'm extremely motivated and energetic and will be able to give this role the attention it deserves and requires, and be able to make sure that people's voices are heard. I would say the biggest skill that any person can have is listening, because that's how you learn. You know, it's not about what I really have to say, think, or do. You know, it's more of what you think, see, and do. And it's my understanding that that position exists to make sure that what you want to see happen. My main thing is my family, and everything I do is for them. I'll do anything for them, and I am also doing this for them because they live here as well. So I want this to be a place where I can raise my family and not have my children leave. You know, that is something that's extremely important, because That is a problem here, but not exclusively. It's a problem in almost every rural town, is that the brain drain exists. So I would like to see more quality of life things similar to what the Avalon is doing, to keep people interested and offer some things that people think that they're going to find in a city. So.
Well, I think I speak for a lot of people. I'm tickled to death that you're getting in the arena. It just gives me a lot of hope for the future. Thanks so much.
Well, I appreciate that, and that people are excited to see what I can do. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Excellent job.